Hello folks, so the classified Fisa memo just came out. It's funny, it's quiet before I do a video, not one car for an hour. I turn on the video, 30 seconds into it, there's a car that goes by. So the classified memo was just released. By the way, I'm up in the White Mountains at the cabin. Here in the mountains, it is a little windy today. You might hear that, and I apologize about any audio degradation. So the Fisa memo was just released, and a lot of people are asking me, what was it? And I want to just give it a general summary so most people understand it without going too far into the weeds and convoluting it for them. Let's first start with a search warrant for your home. I just want to use that as the basis for an example. When an officer requires a search warrant to search your home, they have to appear in front of a judge. They appear with evidence of why they need it. The evidence needs to back up the reason why they need to enter your home and search your home. If not, the judge has the right to say, no, this evidence doesn't support it. They can also ask how you obtained it. No, that you obtained this illegally. I have to throw it out. No search warrant. Well, it's no different than the Fisa court. And the Fisa court, for those who don't know what it stands for, I believe it's Foreign Intelligence Surveillance. I think the A stands for association. I don't know. It's unimportant. But it is for Foreign Intelligence Surveillance and another vehicle. It's no different in that court. You have to appear with evidence of why you need to wiretap somebody, surveillance, bug them. The judge looks at the evidence, sees if the evidence is strong enough to accommodate the officers, in this case the FBI. It's also relevant where that information came from and how it was obtained, but this was held back from the judge. Now back to the memo. The memo tells that Hillary Clinton's campaign team wanted to spy on Donald Trump's campaign team before and after he was elected. But they didn't have the evidence. As a matter of fact, they attempted to do so with the Fisa court. The court turned them down the first time. Then the Hillary Clinton team heard of an ex-MI6 agent. MI6 is the UK's equivalent to a CIA agent here. He was an anti-Trump fanatic and bragged to everybody he's going to do whatever it takes not to allow him to get elected. Hillary Clinton reached out to him, paid him large amounts of money, where he created what they now call the Trump Dossier, which is available online for you to read. This Mr. Steele, with the help of some Russians, created this false dossier. It was then used by the FBI to go up to the Fisa court and show as evidence why they needed to wiretap Donald Trump's team. They did not say that this dossier was manufactured by an anti-Trump fanatic. They did not say to the judge that this dossier was also purchased by the Hillary team. They omitted all that from the judge. The judge then granted permissions to wiretap, bug, surveillance, whatever you want to call the Clinton team before and after election. They wanted to use the campaign information, the wiretapping, to gain ground and win the election. But then they utilized it after Donald Trump got into office to find dirt on him to get him thrown out of office. That is pretty much the generalization of what this memo, these first 4 pages, spell out. Now, obviously, it's a little bit more convoluted and complicated than that. For example, if you know anything about Uranium 1, Mr. Steele's wife was deeply involved in that company. You know, the company that Hillary Clinton worked with to get the Russians the rights to all that uranium. So that's what it all is. I urge you all to get online and do your research. The dossier, I believe, is on BuzzFeed. It is a liberal website, but they at least have the dossier for you to read. You'll just have to search for it. It's called the Trump Dossier. The Fisa court memo is also online. You can read all 4 pages of that. Very easy reading, actually, not a lot to it. But I urge you all to get caught up with the actual facts before you waste your energy listening to the liberal news media outlets. And one last thing I wanted to mention about the news media outlets. During the Nixon Watergate situation, back then, the news wanted to release the documents. Their attitude was, let's release it regardless of what it does and hash this all out. Let's get to the bottom of this. If Nixon is innocent, he's innocent. If he's guilty, he's guilty. But we need to get it out and hash it out. The news doesn't want to hash this out. All of a sudden, they're concerned about national security. As many news articles that they leaked, as many wars that they've actually been part of and said locations and dates and times. Now all of a sudden they're worried about national security. If the news was truly bipartisan, they would say, release the memo, good or bad, release it, let's hash it out. If they're innocent, they're innocent. If they're guilty, they're guilty. But that's no longer the news. They want to hide it. Folks, have a great day. If you appreciate this message, give me a thumbs up. It's that little icon that looks just like this. Have a great weekend.